Once, in an ancient village nestled by the banks of a flowing river, there lived a wise and revered sage named Uddalaka Aruni. He was known for his profound knowledge of the nature of reality and his ability to convey spiritual truths through simple yet powerful metaphors. One day, his son Shvetketu returned home after having studied the Vedas under a learned teacher. Although he had mastered many texts and rituals, he felt confused and disconnected from the deeper truths that eluded him. Shvetketu was a young man full of pride in his learning, yet he sought something greater. He longed for the ultimate knowledge, the understanding of the true nature of existence. He approached his father with a question that had been troubling him for a long time. "Father," Shvetketu said, "I have studied the scriptures and performed many rituals, yet I still do not understand the essence of existence. What is the ultimate reality that underlies all things? Can you help me grasp the truth?" Uddalaka, ever patient and insightful, smiled and decided to teach his son through a metaphor that would open his heart and mind to the vastness of the truth. The metaphor of the clay pot. Uddalaka took a clay pot from their household, holding it up in front of Shvetketu. He began, "Shvetketu, look at this clay pot. What do you see?" Shvetketu looked at the pot carefully and answered, "It is a pot made of clay, father." Uddalaka nodded, and then he gently broke the pot into pieces. He gathered the fragments and held them up, saying, "Now, do you see the pot?" Shvetketu, confused, responded, "No, father. There is no longer a pot, only fragments of clay." Uddalaka then took the clay fragments and crushed them further, reducing them to dust. He continued, "Now, do you see the pot in its original form?" Shvetketu replied, "No, father. The pot is gone, and there is only clay." Uddalaka smiled and asked, "Where did the pot go, my son? Is the essence of the pot lost in the dust?" Shvetketu, who had been puzzled by the transformation, now began to grasp the depth of the metaphor. "Father, the pot is made of clay, and even when it is broken into pieces and reduced to dust, the clay remains. The form of the pot is gone, but the clay is still there, present in everything." Uddalaka's eyes sparkled with approval, and he replied, "Exactly, my son. The essence of the pot is the clay, and the pot was only a form or a shape created by the clay. Even though the pot appears as a separate object, it is ultimately nothing other than the clay. The clay pervades everything, the pot, the fragments, and even the dust. It is one, eternal, and unchanging." He paused for a moment, allowing his son to reflect on the deeper significance of his words. Then Uddalaka continued, "Now, my dear Shvetketu, understand this. The world around you, everything you see, hear, and touch, is like the pot. It has different forms and shapes, but the underlying essence of all things is Brahman. Brahman is the fundamental reality that pervades everything. Just as the clay is present in the pot, the fragments, and the dust, Brahman is present in all things, from the most minute particle to the vastness of the cosmos." Shvetketu, now filled with a sense of clarity, began to see the world in a new light. He understood that just as the pot and its various forms were not separate from the clay, all forms and beings in the universe were expressions of Brahman. The deeper realization, Tat Tvam Asi. Uddalaka then drew his son's attention to the deeper truth. "Shvetketu, you have studied many scriptures, but now, understand this simple truth. Brahman is the essence of all things, and you, too, are not separate from it. Just as the clay is the essence of the pot, Brahman is your true essence. You are that, the same eternal reality that pervades everything." With these words, Uddalaka revealed the powerful Mahavakya, great saying, from the Upanishads. Tat Tvam Asi, you are that. Shvetketu's heart expanded with understanding. His mind, which had been clouded by pride in his learning, now embraced the profound realization. the essence of the universe and the essence of his own being were one. Just as the clay and the pot were inseparable, so too was he inseparable from Brahman. The moral of the story: essence and form. The story of the clay pot teaches that while forms and shapes may change or disappear, the essence that gives rise to all forms remains eternal. Just as clay remains, so does Brahman, the essence that underlies and pervades all things. Unity of all. The metaphor shows that the entire universe is made of the same essence. There is no separation between individual beings and the universe. All are expressions of the same divine reality. Realization of the true self. The true self, Atman, is not different from Brahman. Just as the pot is ultimately the same as the clay, the individual self is ultimately the same as the Supreme Self. Tat Tvam Asi. The great truth of the Upanishads is that each individual is not separate from the divine. The realization of one's true nature is the understanding that you are that, meaning you are one with the all-pervading Brahman. This beautiful metaphor shared by Uddalaka and Shvetketu in the Upanishads serves as a timeless reminder that the essence of all existence is the same, and the ultimate realization is that we are not separate from the divine truth that pervades all things.